Hey everyone, before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. My husband chose her over us. For 17 years, I built a life with Edward, a man I believed was my rock, my partner, the father of our children. We had a home filled with love, laughter, and the chaos that only a family can bring. We had a dog, a business, and a future that, in my mind, was solid and unshakable. But all of it came crumbling down because of one woman, Fiona. Fiona was Edward's younger brother's ex-girlfriend, and she had been lingering in the background of our lives for over a decade. When she first split from William, Edward's brother, I thought nothing of it. She moved on, or so I assumed. But as the years passed, I noticed she never truly disappeared. For the last 4 years, Fiona became a constant presence, always texting Edward, always finding excuses to be around. I would have been fine if she acknowledged me as part of their friendship, but she didn't. Her conversations were always directed at Edward, never at me. If she did speak to me, it was only when I forced my way into the dialogue. Even my children despised her visits, claiming they were forced to entertain her young daughter, who was years younger than our youngest. What hurt the most was the way Edward dismissed my concerns. He brushed everything off as harmless. When William tried to warn me, telling me that Edward had once admitted he found Fiona attractive and would have pursued her if he were younger and single, I confronted him. Edward only laughed. "William's jealous," he scoffed as if my heartbreak was a joke. The final crack in my trust came when Edward, in an intimate moment, revealed that the only person he'd ever consider for a threesome was Fiona. We had never even discussed threesomes before, and yet, he had been fantasizing about one, with her. Then one day, I got my hands on Edward's old phone, the one he gave me when mine broke. He hadn't logged out of his Messenger account. I didn't intend to pry, but I had to know. What I found shattered me. Their conversations were filled with subtle betrayals. He had indeed told Fiona that he found her attractive. He had confessed to her what he had denied to me. And her response? A simple laughing emoji. For months, I felt like an outsider in my own marriage. He replied to her texts immediately while mine went unanswered for half an hour or more. He prioritized her, made her feel important, while I was left waiting. I finally reached my breaking point and demanded he choose, me or her. At first, he swore he wanted to fix things. He apologized. He said he had never meant any of it. But his apologies were hollow. His behavior didn't change. And then, just like that, he flipped. He left. He didn't fight for us. He didn't fight for our children. Instead, he packed his bags and moved in with his other brother, Thomas. He hadn't seen our kids in over a month. He spoke to them on the phone but refused to show up. And to spite me, he cut off the family phone plan, leaving me scrambling to find a way to stay connected. Financially, things unraveled fast. He refused to contribute to school supplies, uniforms, anything our children needed. He even avoided filing his taxes, knowing it would cut off the family allowance I relied on to make ends meet. Rent consumed most of my earnings, and I found myself relying on food banks to feed my children. Desperate, I reached out to Fiona, thinking maybe, just maybe, she'd take some responsibility for what had happened. But she played innocent, blaming herself in words but never in actions. And the final blow? Edward had told her that I had cheated on him. A blatant, cruel lie. I knew taking him to court would be a battle. He had quit his job, making child support nearly impossible to secure. I didn't qualify for legal aid, and the legal fees felt like an insurmountable mountain. For now, I was stuck, drowning in the mess he left behind, waiting for the 90-day threshold to pass before I could take legal action. Family support was non-existent. My parents had been out of my life since 2010, and his family had never truly accepted me. They stood by him, refusing to acknowledge the pain he had caused. The worst part? I had left for a short trip with the kids to visit my grandmother, hoping to give Edward and me some space to work things out. When I returned, he was gone. He had made his choice. Now it's a cold war. He refuses to speak to me. I don't know when, or if, he will step up for his children. I just hope for their sake that he does. Until then, I will fight. I will keep going. Because while he walked away, I refused to let his betrayal define us. 7 months have passed since Edward walked out of our lives, leaving me and the kids to pick up the pieces. Everyone who warned me was right. He ended up with her. On Christmas Day, in a quiet civil ceremony, he married Fiona. The only time he asked to see the kids? For 2 weeks during Christmas break, so they could attend his wedding. I refused. They refused. Since then, his contact with them has dwindled to almost nothing. They text him trying to keep him in the loop about school, sports, life. He rarely responds. When he does, it's only to complain that I won't let him take them overnight. And yet, every day he flaunts his new life all over social media. Pictures of weekend trips, family outings, smiling faces. My children see it. They see the father who once tucked them into bed now parading around with another family, as if they never existed. Our oldest is heading to college in the fall, a milestone Edward should be proud of. But when our son reached out, nervous about how he'd cover tuition, his father's response was brutal. "You're almost an adult now. That's not my problem." That was the last straw. I took him to court. With the help of a compassionate lawyer willing to take on my case for free, I fought for my children. Last week we had our first hearing. It went well. I was granted full custody. Next, we battle for child support. But Edward, being Edward, is making things difficult. On paper, he has no income, no job, no financial responsibility. Every document he provided to the court claims he's on welfare, that his new wife pays for their home, their bills, their vacations. I don't buy it. Neither does the judge. He's been ordered to provide proof that he's done his taxes this year and that he's making an effort to find employment. The next court date is in April. He has until then to get his act together. As for me, I'm surviving. I work 2 jobs to keep my family afloat. I barely see my kids, which eats at me every single day, but I don't have a choice. We're moving next month into an apartment in a co-op building. Rent will be lower, which is a small relief, but moving costs are yet another stressor. Every day, all I see are upcoming expenses, my son's college fees, summer break costs, the never-ending weight of single parenthood. I am exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally, but I keep going, because I have no other option. In the rare moments I'm home, I work on building my own small business online. It's slow, but I hope in time it will grow into something sustainable. Something that means I won't have to work myself into the ground just to keep food on the table. And dating? It's not even a thought in my mind. The idea of letting another man into my life after Edward? No, not now. Maybe not ever. To those who messaged me saying I was the villain in this story, that I ruined my marriage, my family, I say this. I did not destroy my family. He did. I deserve better. And if I ever update this story again, it will be on my own terms, because the next chapter of my life is mine to write. This story is a painful reminder that love and trust should never be taken for granted. If someone shows you where their priorities lie, believe them. Walking away from betrayal is never easy, but staying in a toxic situation is far worse. No one deserves to be treated as an afterthought, least of all the children left behind. If this story resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you been through something similar? What lessons did you learn? Don't forget to like, share, and comment to support those who might be facing the same struggles. Let's create a space where no one feels alone in their journey.